As we will look to throw, they bring the blitz. It's Dotson, 35. As Watson steps up, it's a wobbly one, but it's finding Chase, who's finding the end zone. And though it's the Bengals driving, but it's thrown straight to Dennis. In the pocket, going up top, and it is picked in return. And for Watson, going deep, and it's picked off. And set, fullback dive, Cabina. Interior defensive line here. But we've got to make some things work as the ball pops out again. We only bring 3, but leave a wide open receiver who shakes the tackle and sprinting in. Needed the defense to get one more stop, but honestly, the offense should have got that touchdown last season. As Murray rolls in, pass Murray rolling into the arms across the middle. We've got Washington who slips the tackle and takes the lead. These 2 games to start off with go late on. Dotson down below. We go Connor slipping another tackle as we go with another shimmy stretch into the end zone. Who will look to throw? Finding Bateman, though it would be nice. Or throw the pick. So a little bit of all-over play to get Season 3 underway. And following what was ultimately a disappointing, though very close start, where every single game we played last episode was a 1-score game. On the bad side, though, where we went 1-2 against the Bengals, the top team from our division last year who stole it from us. We lost 17-20. We then squeaked out a win against the Steelers and then against the Browns as we wrapped up the opening of all divisional play. We lost to them 24-31. Now, as we get going today, we're going to get through about as much of this season as the team kind of directs us to. If the team is playing well, it'll elongate the season. If they're not playing well, it'll quicken up the pace. I do want to start with the Seahawks. We're going to get through the Bengals and Steelers because we've played them a lot. Maybe see the Bears or Dolphins again, kind of go by ear. But really, the main thing we need to do is get this offense going. 30th in the league, really dragging down the #1 defense in the league. And I think something that we could do to try to help solve that is more to do with the running game. Kenny Pickett continues to just play all over, sometimes really good, sometimes really bad. But the running game is where we have our best success stories from this series so far. James Conner has done very well. But this year, he's in his 9th season. He's getting on the older side, and he's already had, a couple fumbling issues throughout this series. And we have a young running back in Bryce Stallings who needs to see some playing time if he's to eventually take over for Connor. And I think a really important stat here to take a look at is the broken tackles. Stallings has only had 15 carries. He's broken 4 tackles. You could do the math to match up to James Conner's 68 carries. He would have more than those 13 broken tackles. So we're going to try to get Stallings out there a little bit more. Now, he has not yet taken over for the straight up starting running back role. Where we're going to try to get him those carries is in the power back options. He will take over top there, and hopefully that will start to evenly spread out the carries. So to help us get a gauge on if that is going to help, we're going to jump in, as I said, to the Seahawks game. They've started 0-3. We are 1-2, the same as every other team in our division. A win could be really good for us in what might continually be a tight divisional race. Now the defense starts us off with a 3-and-out offense. They've picked up a couple big passing plays, so we're down inside plus territory. Starting with a handoff to Connor down the middle, he will pick up 2. He did have 1 previous rush, went for a gain of 8. And again, really trying to get a good rotation with these running backs today. Tried to do that a little bit last year, didn't quite do it to the extent we were hoping for. Might need to continue tweaking those auto subs as well, as Connor right back down the middle will pick up 8. Now situations where it's a 3rd and 1 and in a heavy set, this is where I would love Stallings. We go spread wide though. Connor fits this much better as it's a read option. Kenny Pickett gonna pick up that 1st down. Gain of 4 down to the 26. Don't have that ranked very highly in the playbook, but I like it occasionally. Catch the defense off guard. As we go with a pass, Pickett does not read the blitz. It's Abdullah loss of 5. And that was just us not properly reading the blitz. No one left to pick him up. Everyone else was on a defensive lineman. Go back to the run. Connor down the middle. She shucks off 1, going to half the distance for 3rd. And we will finally get that rotation sub at running back following. 3rd and 6, it is Stallings going to go out on a route, and it's another bit of pass rush down the middle. Robinson will pick up the sack. We'll have to send out Ryland. Field goal to give us a lead here. We're at the 29, though, kicking from around the 36. It's a 46-yarder down the middle. Now as we jump forward, getting into the second quarter, Seahawks are driving inside the 30. We'd love to see a turnover force from the defense. We've had a couple picks this year. Not going to get one there. Dane Jackson a little bit loose on coverage. He's done all right. Getting back into the starting lineup, though, corner is probably going to be a big need for us in the offseason. As Feldman downfield, it is Jackson tipping it away. He essentially has taken over for the Aruwariye spot, who was playing really well. He just saw some regression again. We've had some key starters getting older, and regression is taking place as Javonte Williams out of the backfield. Great throw as well. But the good news is the offense is responding. Driving back down the field right after, trying to retake our lead, now down by 4. Across the middle we find Godwin. Kenny Pickett, 4 of 5 for 49 yards. We don't need anything fancy from him. Take these short, simple throws, occasionally go with a deep one, but we just need some simple play from our quarterback. Keep things clean. As Connor has been getting majority of the carries, he's at 9 rushes, 50 yards following the no gain. No one able to work to that second level to block Fred Warner. Leaves 2nd and 10 as we go back down the middle. Connor, gonna be about a gain of 4, maybe 5. Though at this spot, I would prefer a throw to the outside. Following a bunch down to the bottom, I imagine we do go with that kind of throw. And indeed we do. Finding the first down, it is Jahan Dotson to the 7. It's almost as if I'd kind of designed this playbook. 1st and goal. We got 2 spread down to the bottom as it's a running back, easy touchdown for James Conner. Offensive line did the work on that one, and we retake that lead. And even better, with just over 2 minutes left, defense forces the 3 and out, a chance to widen our lead here before halftime, though we start deep at the 23. Look for a lane. It's a good block there. We're able to work around it. Take us to that 2-minute warning. We pick up 8. Now we're going to need to start pick up some nice chunks. We all know Ryland, he needs to get to the 39 for a possible field goal attempt. As Kenny Pickett, he's going to roll. He's got space to the outside, some speed. He takes the contact, but he gets us up to about midfield. And we'll go with a hurry up thereafter. We still have all of our, actually no, we have 2 timeouts. At some point, looks like the CPU called that one. Thrown out for Connor, and it's tipped around a couple times, but eventually hits the turf. This is actually a really good pairing. The off-ball linebacker. You got Fred Warner and Matt Milano. That is a dangerous group for sure. Need to make sure we stay clear of them. As Kenny Pickett tries to roll, he's got his guy in Washington. Toe tap at the 26. Honestly, one of the most impressive plays from Kenny Pickett so far this series. He's stayed patient. Coming out with a bunch to the left-hand side. Though we've got the running back in Connor, who's got a step, but can't quite get to it. Pickett overthrew that by about a step or 2. But with over a minute left here, still having our timeouts down to the 26, we don't need to just be throwing. We'll bring out Stallings as he's got space down the middle, runs through 1, fighting through a 2nd, and he'll get that first down. And one of the main reasons I really want to get Stallings going is because he has 99 break tackle. Figure that could be really good for us if he finds some space, which he only picks up 2 there. And with us now under 40 seconds, hurry back up. We got 2 to the left, 2 tight ends to the right, some underneath routes, a couple going more deep. As we get this one to the outside, Dotson trying to use that speed. He's stood up a yard shy of the first. We'll call that 2nd timeout there. And now with some more fresh legs, we'll bring Connor back out here. It's Biggs versus Biggs. We're going to go with a little bit of some play action roll for Kenny Pickett. He's got a guy trailing, and he has Godwin, who drops it. That's unfortunate. Really should have been a touchdown. Instead, the offense staying out for 4th and goal. Hard count, no one jumps. You can see Pickett making a change at the line. 4th and 1, we just need the 1, and stacked up by Werner. It is not a turnover on downs. We're actually going to get credit for the first down there. We call our last timeout, 5 seconds left. If we got that one, it was not by much. Well, we have a chance for a quick throw here, and it's got to be quick, as it is thrown straight to the linebacker. There will be no more points added before half. Kenny Pickett rushed that one way too much. We should have settled for the field goal, grew our lead, but it's not the worst case scenario. As we go through halftime, we start with possession. It just would have been a great way to really start to build a lead here. In this half, we stay up by 3, 10-7 as we get a gain of 1 there on first down. Connor back in the backfield for a second down. As Pickett looks to throw, he's got time. Across the middle, wide open is Godwin. He's found some space today. Kenny Pickett, outside of me just rushing things and throwing an interception, has played actually pretty well. It's what we need from him, but we don't need to rely on him. We've got plenty of really solid talent around him. As Connor finds a little bit of space, though looking a little slow on that run. He's already at 16 carries. I would prefer him around 15, maybe with another 10 to 15 for stalling. So that's kind of going to be the goal moving forward, trying to find that decent split. So at the end of all these games, even the sim games, definitely something to keep an eye on. 3rd and 6, Pickett down to the bottom, caught, breaking through the first bit of tackle attempts was Godwin. Robinson, he's shaken up on the play for the Seahawks. First down for us, though, as they bring the blitz. Connor picking up about 1. 18 carries, 88 yards, and a touchdown. And he's staying out there for second down, as we have the fullback Cabina back there as well. It's a tight group. A little bit of some play action. Pickett, he gets antsy. He's going to roll. Perfectly fine. There's plenty of space. He takes the hit on the slide down. Ref marks him down at the 6. And we'll follow it with the goal line set. All right, can we get some better push this time? Stallings, the back, spins off of Werner, though gets tripped up. I believe that was Chigakonkwo on the ground. That apparently is not something that the 99 break tackle can help you against. We stick with a heavy set, though it's the fullback dive, turn it to fullback stretch. We just get 1. So 3rd and goal at the 5. We will change it up from there. Going with a shotgun look, bunch down to the bottom, 1 up top is Chig. We got Connor in the backfield, Pickett. They only rush 3. He rolls, not gonna find the edge. He should have tossed it to Connor. But we'll learn from our last mistake. Field goal unit, this would have put us up by 2 scores if we took that field goal before half. Instead, it remains by 1. And we'll jump forward into the 4th quarter, where the Seahawks just went for it on 4th down, converting. They're trying to gain a lead here as Williams, he's got space to the outside. Whitehead will finally bring him down inside the 10. It's goal to go at the 8. Seahawks, they've only managed to score once prior to this drive. They need at least another one here to go in front. A touchdown, that is, with the extra point. Whitehead with the tackle again. Making it 2nd and goal at the 5. Defense, they've been number 1 this year for a reason. They've been really good. We need them to come through for us here. Goal line stand as it's up top, stretching and in. They cannot contain it this time. Smith and Jigba puts the Seahawks up. Looking very similar to the Pittsburgh game from last episode. It is 14-13 as we just need a field goal. Offense, we've got just under 6 minutes. We just need those 3 points. We could drain clock along the way. 2nd and 8. It's a spread look here for Kenny Pickett, letting that clock roll. As we hand it off, down the middle, Connor keeping those legs moving just shy of the first down. It's his 20th carry. He needs 3 more yards to go over 100, but it's Stallings checking in here. As we got a 2 tight end set plus the fullback. I expect a dive down the middle or a little bit of a stretch. Stallings fighting, picking up that first down. He did not have it on the first attempt. The second, third effort, that gets the job done. As we tick under 4 minutes left, we're up to the 36 here. Pickett looking to throw. He's got a little time, though it collapses, but he finds Godwin downfield. A well-thrown ball by Kenny Pickett. 12 of 18, 5 catches, 68 yards for Godwin. He's been the leading receiver today, and he's doing his job well. As we approach 3 minutes, Pickett looking to throw. He goes Connor up top. Quick coming in is 2 with a good open field tackle. Limits the gain to 0. Can't afford too many of those. We're about 2 yards away from field goal range, a little over 2.5 minutes. As we go to throw again, Pickett. He steps up, he finds Godwin towards the sideline, heading out of bounds, making it 3rd and 2. It's been some of these shorter down and distances. This is actually a long 3rd and 2, more like 2.5. But it's the short down and distances that have given us trouble. As it's Connor with some space, he bounces and he did not need to. 4th and 2 at the 33. It's definitely risky, but this is a 50-yard field goal, and we don't have the most amount of trust in Rhineland. We could stamp our way to victory, picking up the first down here, making things easier, at least. It's Stallings, the running back. We do not double to backer, and Stallings is short. Another play from the Seahawks 47. The offensive line did not properly double to backer on the left-hand side, forced the cutback, and that's what cost us the first down. Now defense needs the stop, quick tackle, timeout loss of 2. We have 2 more remaining, under 2 minutes. It's a 2 tight end set, though they motion one of them towards that fullback spot. Expect a dive down the middle as they go that way with Williams stacked up. Good job defensive line, linebackers flowing as well. 3rd and 9. Watch out for the pass here as they will throw. Feldman, first down, Smith and Jigba. And that might just do it. Feldman gonna start taking knees from here. It's another 1-score game that again does not end in our favor. 14-13. The defense continually is playing winning games. Of course, they're giving up some plays here and there, but 14 points throughout the whole game is really good. It's the offense that's just not finishing their drives. And obviously, if we go with one of those field goals, maybe there's the potential we win. A little bit trying to be maybe too aggressive, but also we're just not finishing those drives as we should be. Now in this game, Stallings had 7 carries, Connor had 21. I would like to even that up a little bit more, so I'll continue messing with the auto sub slider to hopefully try to even out some of these carries. But really the problem in that game was the short down and distances we were not able to convert. Now what that comes down to is essentially going to be the blockers. The running backs can only do so much, but on that late one, when we had the double to backer, we did not. It was either Fred Warner or Matt Milano. We can't leave them unblocked, no matter the 99 break tackle of Stallings. So really, I think it comes down to Juice Scruggs and Bates. Both are seeing morale dropping. And of course, we've had the injury to McGovern that is definitely a hindrance for us. We brought him in to hopefully provide a little bit better blocking for us, but we also have to note that he's also just a pass blocker, so maybe we need to make a change with our tackle situation. Rasheed Walker has given up almost a sack a game to start this year. Now, while we don't have McGovern, we probably should keep Rasheed Walker out here. But he's got some better blocking for the run game, so maybe he should slide down to guard. Lead blocking isn't great, but it's an option we could try. Another option would be someone like Brian O'Neill. He's played tackle, but he's got some really good ratings, and considering we don't have that dominant play at the interior of this offensive line, moving him to a guard might be able to help us out. Then we can flex McGovern to left tackle, move our other left tackle, Rasheed Walker, to right tackle, give us some flexibility. Offensive line, I do think we need to mess with. Now, on top of that, something we could potentially look at is maybe other options at fullback. We've had Cabina the last 2.5 years. He just doesn't have fantastic blocking ratings. He's a 67 overall. There's other options. Maybe we should look that way. So we're going to try to have a little fun with this one. We have signed from our practice squad a backup offensive lineman in Brandon Graham. He's the fastest of the bunch. And at fullback, he's not that far off overall wise to our actual fullback in Cabina. So we are bringing in a big boy here. 6'4", 331. He does not have fantastic speed. 68. He's got a little bit of some acceleration, but the run blocking and lead blocking, they're fantastic. If he could help clear the way for our running backs, maybe that'll just help some things out. So we're going to give Brandon Graham a trial here. See if it helps things out. As for the offensive line situation, we will have to wait for McGovern to return. He's 2 weeks away, so let's start to jump ahead till then. And while moving over, we picked up a big win against Cincy. Our first non-one score game this year, 28-17. And the defense seemed to play pretty well, and it mostly came through a fourth quarter effort here from the team as we scored 14. Now in this game, Kenny Pickett, he played clean, 75% completion, just about 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's exactly what we need from him. On top of that, Watson, he had a pretty solid game as well. Rushing the ball, White, he ran really well. 19 carries for Connor, 11 for Stallings, so it's closer. Stallings had the better game. Both the running backs finished with a touchdown, though Connor did have more broken tackles. Receiving-wise, Chigakonkwo, 2 touchdowns. He's also been our leading receiver. That's been a little bit of a weird thing this year. And defensively, both Dennis and Maddox led both teams in tackles. Tackles for a loss, both teams seem to have some. Sacks, Carter had 2, but Givens had 2. So, we gave up 2, we got 2. Gross Matos had 1. Cansey and Whitehead split, so we had the better day in the backfield. And kicking-wise, we did not attempt a single field goal with Ryland, but we hit all of our extra points. So that is a big win, moving us into the Steelers week, who currently lead the division. Now, this will be a sim game, but here is the offensive line we are rocking with this time. We've shaken it up, as we talked about. McGovern has gone to left tackle. We've moved Mitchell from right guard to left guard, making things slightly easier for O'Neal to move from right tackle to right guard. Then we have Walker going from left tackle to right tackle. Drew Scruggs, he's been starting at center. He will continue to start there. Match that with the new addition at fullback in Graham. This should put forth our best blocking lineup to get Connor and Stallings going and get the passing game probably doing a little bit better as well, with one of our better pass blockers with McGovern on the outside. And that change would appear to help out, back to a 1-score game. But we take care of business. We defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-24. And with that, we've taken first in the division. Now, we gave up a lot of yards in this one, something the defense hasn't really done much of this year. 400 total for the Steelers. But it was a good game for both quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett, one of his best games this series. Just shy of 240, 3 touchdowns, 76% completion. He's doing his job out there. At least the last 2 games. Kyler Murray, he had a pretty good one as well. 2 touchdowns. We did get a pick on him, but he also completed 70% of his throws. Kyron Williams, we struggled against massively. 6 yards per rush. James Conner just under 4. Same average with Stallings, but Connor was the one that got into the end zone. We also gave up a rushing touchdown for Kyler Murray. Meanwhile, Kenny Pickett did fumble in this one. So both quarterbacks had 3 touchdowns and a turnover. Receiving wise, second-year receiver in Kenny James, he gave us some problems out of Texas. But also Chigakonkwo yet again led our team in receiving, going over 102 touchdowns. Jefferson, Not too bad of a day, though very comparable. Almost the exact same stat line as Parker Washington, so not a very J-Jets kind of game. And we gave up another touchdown for Kyron Williams receiving. Now defensively, we were not in the top 4 when it came to tacklers. Benford was our top tackler. I don't like that most of the time it's one of our corners. And Okoronkwo had a great game against us. 3 TFLs, Spencer had 2, Luvu had 2, Gross Matos at least had 2, but we were not in the backfield that much at all. Cansey did get a sack, and the pick went to Brandon Smith. He's gotten a couple this series, and I'm here for it. Kicking-wise, we did miss a field goal from Chad Ryland, which would have made this a 2-score game. But ultimately, the most important thing is that we won. We've retaken the division 3-3. Both the Steelers and ourselves. So that's going to probably be the toughest matchup this season between us. And I think we've already split that series. So we now have, I think, 1 game left between the Browns and Bengals, both of which have only won 1 game this year. So despite the rocky start, this has probably been our best start this series. And facing a fellow 3-3 team here in the Chicago Bears, we have a chance to get above 500. So let's run through this game, hopefully quickly. And to help with that, we're jumping in here in the second half where the Bears have the lead. But this is following an interception where we are starting essentially at the 15. Now we need a touchdown to take the lead, field goal to tie. Both teams very much led by their defense, and it's been, for the most part, a pretty defensive battle. Though Connor with the lead block of O'Neal. How is that not a touchdown? I don't think that knee ever hit the ground. He landed on top of the defender. That should have been a touchdown. We're even playing at home. I don't know what that call is all about. They say we're a half yard shy. All right, well, Stallings hopefully to steal the touchdown from Connor. Takes a big hit, and Lucas Kroll shaken up on the play. Honestly, that move he did with his back looks like me every time I try to stand up. I'm assuming back spasms then. 2nd and goal. Connor will get his touchdown, diving in to make the statement as we take the lead here against Chicago. Though that would not hold for long. Dontavion Wicks would go nearly 50 to the house on the following drive, and it was a 3rd and long. So as we jump forward yet again here, starting off the 4th quarter, still been for the most part pretty defensive. There have obviously been a couple big plays. As it's 24-21, we find Godwin across the middle. Now I will say Kenny Pickett, he's very much developed these short and medium accuracies. Deep is still very questionable, so we're not going to see a lot of those type of shots. But 20, maybe 15, that's probably going to be the sweet spot for the passing game. Well, obviously, we prefer the running game, but it's not opened up so much today. 16 carries for Connor. He's still under 50 yards by a couple. Leaving us with 2nd and 10. We go back to him, and he is stacked up. Make it 3rd and 13. We might need to find our success through the air in this one. They got a superstar and an X factor on the offense or on the defensive line. Pickett's hard count. Downfield, it's picked off. That's that deep ball accuracy that is just not quite developed. It's Johnson with the pick, and now the defense has to step up. And indeed they would, forcing the 3 and out there after the pick. They've been number 1 in the league for a reason. Now we're jumping out here with the offense to try to control this next drive, as we would want it to be the last. Though James Conner gets up a little slow on the play. He's actually going to head through the tunnel. That's not exactly the way we want to get Stallings more carries. That's also going to open things up here for Israel. I always mess up the last name, so I typically just try to avoid saying it. As Pickett looks to scramble, he will slide down. Finally, he learned how to slide. Last episode, he kept diving. We pick up that 1st down, though, up to the 33. We get back to it quickly. Though we're going to check out of the pass, go with a run instead. A little bit of a change of pace back. We lose 3. Now, similarly to the last game we watched, a very interesting pair here. You got Murray Jr. and JOK. You got 2 really fast running backs, which are going to be an interesting pair, as Okonkwo able to shake through a couple tackles there, picking up a decent chunk, leaving us with 4 needed. And honestly, with that, I forgot what I was saying. Speed, yeah, going to be an interesting matchup with all of our power as it is behind. It's a good throw, though, to Washington. Can't squeeze it. So we will be forced to punt. Need the defense to get the stop here as we approach the 2-minute warning. Stroud, he's looking to throw. He goes down to the bottom. Out of bounds goes Gesicki. It's a gain of 6, but they're probably going to let this one roll to the 2-minute. Or getting out of bounds will actually work this time. Stops the clock. That saves us a timeout. 2nd and 4. Handoff down the middle. Pushing forward the first down. We call our second timeout when we could have just let it run to the 2-minute mark. They go back down the middle. It's a good stop that time from Dennis. Free timeout. Last one free as a 2-minute warning hits. We've got one timeout. We had a quick rush, though. It opens up for the rush. Jones back from injury, able to make the stop. 3rd and game here as Stroud will look to throw. Rolling, it's open across the middle, and that should be game. It's another 1-score loss as we just could not hold on to that pass, giving ourselves the opportunity to try to tie or win the game. And with that, we might be dropping back out of first in the division as the Bears get the dub 24-21. Now, actually, we get a little bit lucky. It was the Steelers' bye, so they had a pretty early one. We still drop out of first by half a game, but it's just half a game, so that I am perfectly okay with. We could try to bounce back rather quickly, and then we'll have that game later on to help level things out. But it's not the worst case scenario. But this does move us to week 8, where we have the Miami Dolphins, who are 4-3. And considering that we've had, a pretty good episode, we're rivaling for the top. I doubt we're going to get through the entirety of this season today. We'll probably split the rest of it into 2, get through another couple games. But right now, we need to take an update on the draft. Now, in this class, we have a lot of different options of where we could look to go. And considering the spread out play we've had from Kenny Pickett, there is one quarterback who may be able to step in and help out a little bit, at least provide some competition if Pickett struggles, and that is Charles Hallen. He's 6'2", 210, 22 years old. He's a scrambler archetype out of Maryland, and he has solid to good throw power, so that's probably going to put it, I would say, around an 85. But he has some tremendous athleticism. Look at the actual ratings. Throw under pressure is good. Throw on the run pretty good. Break sack. Deep accuracy. For short, you have A to C and medium B to D. Now, awareness is a C. Injury is B to D. So there is, a little bit of some concern there. Play action, which is a pretty big part of our offense, that's a D. So he's definitely not going to be a round 1 talent, but he could be a very serviceable backup. Matthew Otten, our only other option, very much looks to be a backup, strictly with short accuracy. Now for the rest of the offense, there is only a day 3 receiver and a potential undrafted tight end. Now the tight end actually doesn't look that bad if all the ratings are at the ceiling. The receiver doesn't look like he's going to be a big, promising guy for us. Get to the defensive side. Now we do have a couple outside linebackers here, Fowler and Hunter. Do either of them look good? Speed rusher here with Fowler, who does not have much strength at all. Speed is okay. He's got B finesse moves, C power, B to D block shed. So he doesn't look to be dominant with C to F injury, B to D awareness. You look at Jeff Hunter, 23 years old, out of Pittsburgh, maybe a little bit more strength. Overall looks to be a slightly better athlete. B finesse, C block shedding. So none of these guys are well-rounded. But where we could hopefully find some help for this defense is in the cornerback spot. And we've got a couple different options here. Wilkinson at day 3 looks like he would really just be depth. Jaylen Brown, maybe a fringe starter, maybe a slot kind of guy. He's 5'11", 185, zone archetype out of Pittsburgh. He's got solid to good strength, really good athleticism, jumping not the best though. He's got D play rec, not great. A to C awareness. Man is at a C. B for zone. Press B to D. He's definitely a fringe kind of guy. Tackling being that C, probably not much of a slot guy then. More of an outside guy if that press is a B. But then the number 1 guy, Terrence McNeil, another zone archetype, 5'11", 182, 21 years old, out of Maryland. He's a round 1 projection who has great to elite strength, good to great speed, all around a phenomenal athlete. He's got A to C zone, C for the man coverage, C for the press, B tackling though. He may be more of a slot guy with some injury concern, C to an F. Now, do any of these guys look like they could step in day 1 and be a very promising starter? Or do we look instead to maybe make trades? Right now for our offense, if there were a trade to be made, I think it would honestly have to be for center. Offensive line, you have Juice Scruggs, he's played all right. It's not something we have to force. Defensive line wise, Cansey has done a pretty good job of developing. I think he could hold down that spot. Gross Matos, he's actually performed pretty well. We're pretty light at the DT spot. Really, all these guys are going to be in their regression years. So if there's an option there, that could really help out. You can maybe look at edge rusher, but these guys are going to be competing with guys like Cansey and Gross Matos for actual edge rush starting time. And I don't think there's someone that we could really afford. We've looked at off-ball linebackers. There's not many options, but both Smith and Dennis have performed actually pretty well. It really comes down to this cornerback group, as both Maddox and Jackson are in their regression years. There is Damari Mathis, who's not, but he's not extremely well developed yet. Free safety we're pretty good at. Strong safety, we also have Pinnock to rely on whenever Whitehead starts to regress. So if there's anything to do here, it's corner. And we may have ourselves a really good option that no one in the draft would be able to even closely resemble. Joey Porter Jr. with the Falcons, and they are willing to talk. Now, he is a superstar X Factor, 88 true overall, but only in his second year. Coming in with massive amount of man press ability with some solid zone. He could tackle as well. Now, he doesn't look to be one that's going to force a lot of turnovers. Catching is a 62, but if he can lock down some corners, all the better. Though, as I say, he's not going to have a lot of interceptions. He's had 4 the last 2 seasons. So he's someone that can step in and immediately provide a massive boost here for our secondary. Now, looking at the offers, it's steep. Right, they would want a current 1 and 2 plus a 6, or a future 1 and 2 in this year's 4th. So they're looking for a big trade here, and honestly, it fits. He's a high overall X Factor corner. I think we could try to work with this. But what we're going to try to do instead is maybe try to help out some of their needs, try and mix in with some of our needs. So obviously there's that quarterback in the round 2 to 3. So I would prefer to keep that 2. So we could toss in the 3 instead, and we're just going to have to add other value. And that value would be means of a 5 and a 6. So altogether, we give up 4 picks, but we bring in a really good top 10 corner in the league. Now, of course, that does leave us over our 53, and that does mean we have to get rid of someone. Despite how good he played the first 2 years, he's in his regression years. Amani Aruarie, appreciate your time here this series, but we will be having to release you. Now, with that addition, let's head into this Miami game. Week 8, try to get back to 400, and honestly, if the Steelers lose and we get back into first, all the better. Now, we are jumping in here late first quarter following a Kenny Pickett interception, giving the Dolphins the ball at the 14. Outside of that, it has been a very good defensive game. Lawrence scrambling, sliding down 2 yards shy of the first, has them down to the 6. Now, obviously getting the pick, very defensive, but I mean in just getting these stops. Though clearly we're going to need our defense to make some big plays here. As it's Montgomery looking for space towards the top. He is stuffed. Loss of 1 and Tyreek Hill a little bit shaken up. That could massively help out our DB group, who already just saw help with the trade. 3rd and 3, double A gap look for us. We drop back into coverage and nearly get a pick. It is Dane Jackson out there playing on the outside, though he shouldn't be. Might need to double check some depth charts to make sure Madden didn't get weird on me here. But 4th and 3, we will hold them to the field goal. And as we jump forward now, offense into plus territory, did check in with the medical team, and apparently I missed it. Benford, he strained his back in practice this week, so it's a good thing we brought in Porter, as it's a drop by Jahan Dotson. He's made some big plays. He's also just not been relevant in some games. He's a little bit hit or entirely miss. 2nd and 10 with a nice cutback lane. We go for a gain of 8. I say cutback, though. That might have actually been a counter. Either way, it's a gain of 8, leaving us with 3rd and 2. As we go 2 spread either side. Kenny Pickett hands it off. Good lead blocking, and we will stick to that lead blocking in Mitchell for a little bit. Still getting us down to the 23 goes Connor. So far in this game, we have racked up 51 rushing yards. Haven't seen an update on the passing, so we'll get to that, I'm sure, at some point. 1st and 10, play action, Pickett across the middle, finding Godwin, who, yet again, we can't hold on to it. Knocked out with a big hit. Kenny Pickett, 3 of 8, though at least 2 of those have just been drops from the receivers. As they bring a blitz here, Pickett staying close to the line, down towards the bottom, and he missed that one. Leaving us with a 3rd and 10 at the 23. We're in field goal range to tie this game, though obviously touchdowns always better. As Pickett looks to throw, across the middle he finds Godwin this time, getting down, securing the catch at the 13. It's his first catch, gain of 11. As we got 1 receiver spread either side, 2 tight ends towards the top of the formation. We go Connor with some space, running straight at the safety. He picks up 7. 7 yards, that is. Maybe if he ran more towards the top, it would have been 7 points. But it's a goal line set to follow. Fullback dive is Brandon Graham, the lineman. And he gets drawn down by the face mask. Boy, I would have loved a big boy shuffle on that if we scored. But unfortunately, it's not to be. We do get a fresh set of downs, though, as he helps lead the way here. It is Connor about back to the line of scrimmage, and Rasheed Walker shaken up on the play, so just not an overall good play for us. We stick with the heavy sets, though. Stallings doesn't have anywhere to go, but he is hard to bring down. Takes about 3 or 4 Dolphins as he gets down to the 1. And we're sticking with the same looks here, just goal line after goal line. Eventually, one of these has got to work. We put the pulling guards in front, and Stalling goes airborne. But it gets us in the end zone. Someone went after the knees. Luckily, his knees are okay. But who was not okay was Walker. Abdominal tear, his day is done, and it's probably going to miss a few weeks. Meanwhile, we're trying to maintain our lead here as Cansey nearly picks up a sack. He's gotten one just in the sim plays in between our showings here. So he's having a pretty good performance. But trying to keep that lead intact here. Just up 4, under a minute left. We bring the blitz, finding their target, quick throw, forcing them to call another timeout. They've got 1 more remaining. 3rd and 7. They got trips down below, 1 up top. Lawrence going up top, it gets picked off. That's Joey Porter, first game with us. He's got space as well, plenty of speed. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, pick 6, Joey Porter. First game following the trade, and it makes it all so worth it. And Near immediately makes me eat my words of him not getting the picks or that low catching rating. We jump back in here in the 3rd quarter. Dolphins driving down the field. They're down to the 35 now following the gain of 2. They're down 14-3, trying to get themselves back semi in control of this game as there looked like early movement. No penalty call. We get some pass rush. Lawrence throws behind his target, but one heck of an adjustment. He brings it in is Brownlee. I want to say that's a draftee of this universe, though I could be wrong. 3rd and 5, empty set for Lawrence. Quick throw, quick first down as they go to Gabe Davis. He's converted actually quite a lot of big plays in this one. Need to keep an eye on where he's lining up. If it's against Jackson, maybe even against Maddox in the slot, we'll have to adjust from there. As Montgomery gets to the outside, said that strangely, but it's a gain of 4. His 8th carry, 14 yards. Overall defense continually does well against the run. Lawrence has had a pretty big game passing, though. 2nd and 6, another quick throw. It is knocked out Joey Porter. This defense was already one of the best in the league, and we spent a little bit to make it even better. We've been relying on them a lot. They've kept us in these games, given us chances as Brownlee gets the second catch opportunity. They went after him the play prior. 1st and 10 for him just outside the 10-yard line. So they have a chance for another fresh set of downs here as they swing it up top. It's over the top of Gross Matos, though only a gain of 1. And this drive taking a good bit of time off the clock. Just 3 minutes left here in the third quarter, as it looks like a change being made by Lawrence. Look to throw, quick pass rush, not getting there in time, but it does force the throwaway. Honestly, couldn't even tell you who that was we sent on the blitz. 39, maybe that was Maddox, might have been a corner blitz. 3rd and 9, pass rush, Gross Matos gets there first. Cansey helps clean it up. Continually playing well when put into tough spots is this defense, forcing the field goal chance here as it is up and drilled. Oh, following, the Dolphins have another big opportunity here. Into the fourth quarter, they're down to the 39. They need a touchdown and a 2-point to tie. And they're going to need some big plays from their running game that hasn't all been too great today. A lot of short gains. They've gotten the big ones through the air. But every team needs to be a little bit balanced, and I say that even with the Panthers' traditional franchise not quite being so. They go with a toss up top. Quick pursuit from Brandon Smith. He really is starting to earn himself some more playing time, though Pinnock is a much better cover guy. Spreading out empty now as they send Montgomery towards the top. 3rd and 7 for Lawrence, who throws quick right down the middle. Their tight end got wide open. I want to say that is Dalton Schultz. Though as we run through these games extremely quickly, I could very well be mixing up games. So who knows? 1st and 10, they're down to the 14. Lawrence still looking to throw. He has his dump off. There's Montgomery, will be a gain of 7. Lawrence 20 of 27, 224, and that pick. 2nd and 3, looks like a heavy set here. Though I would think they'd go with some play action. Indeed they do. Lawrence in the pocket, he's stepping up. A little bit of pressure will bring him down. It is Jefferson playing some of that big edge for us. He makes the play. 3rd and 9. It's a tight single back set in which they hand it off. It works. Plowing through down to the 1. Credit that play to 79. One of their offensive linemen, looks like that right tackle, he cleared the way. Do they go back to the ground game or do they throw? They will hand it off, and it's a walk-in touchdown for Keaton Mitchell. But they need the 2-point try. So right back out onto the field as they send 2 receivers to the bottom. They got a tight end up top, fullback back there, plus Mitchell, who just scored. Lawrence throws, and we've got a tied game. It's Dalton Kincaid for him. So yes, I did mix up those tight ends. Well, offense, how do we respond? Tie game here, 4:12 left. We just need a field goal, but it's going to entirely be up to them and whatever play calling Madden decides, because I cannot jump into these games, or at least this one in particular. Madden glitched out. It's stuck in the sim mode. Now, one thing I can tell you is that the Steelers are currently tied with the Browns. So if we could pull off a win here and they lose, that would be fantastic for us. But we're going to need Pickett to step up, and he has not had a good game. I want to say 4 of 12 passing on 3rd and 12. As he has his guy, there goes Washington. It's a foot race. He's not going to win, but down to the 11. We could melt some clock from here. Making the play when we needed it the most. That was the first catch for Washington today. He goes for 64. Now, it doesn't look like we're chewing clock, though I wish we were. As it's a handoff down the middle, it's a gain of 2 for Connor. 15 rushes, 48 yards. We are in no hurry here. We simply need the field goal. We could take off as much time as possible. As we go back to the run, it's nearly into the end zone. He fought through him. We retake the lead 21-14. About around 2 minutes left here in this game. And to be specific, it's 2:02 left. Now both teams have all their timeouts. Lawrence, he needs a touchdown, nearly throwing a pick there to Maddox. Good coverage. Does bring that 2-minute warning. No free timeouts left here as they go empty. Lawrence, quick throw to the flat. There's Kincaid, who will pick up 5 and get out of bounds. Really smart play there from their tight end, who's had 5 catches today, around 70 yards. 3rd and 5. Here comes the rush. Maddox forces the throwaway. He's been involved on every single play this drive. Now 4th and 5. Do they punt? They will not. Despite it looking like Lawrence was heading off the field, he just went to the sideline for the play. They will throw. No surprise. 1st down as they find 84 to the 42. First catch of the day for him. Keeps them alive. Trips up top, 1 below for Lawrence. We've gotten a little bit of some pressure. We bring 4, including the blitz. Lawrence steps up, throws, finding Montgomery, and another 1st down. They're approaching the minute mark, still having those 3 timeouts. Will be another throw, no surprise. Lawrence across the middle, finding Kincaid. He's made some big catches today as they're trying to level this one late. They're down to the 32. Defense has stood tall close to the end zone. Nearly picked by Cross. He couldn't hold on to it through the dive. But we ensure they didn't score that play or get any yards. 2nd and 10. Got 2 to the bottom. Lawrence waiting, dumping it off for Montgomery. Trying to take some simple plays, get them closer. At least make it closer for a 3rd down. 3rd and 2. Still have not called their timeouts as we're around 25 seconds. Thrown to the flat, 1st down, Gabe Davis. Haven't seen him in a little while. Again, if that's the same game, could have been the last one. They do call their 1st timeout, and indeed that was Davis. So I'm not completely losing my mind. Lawrence rolls, throws too short. The 3 closest players on the field, all in Ravens jerseys. Could have been big. 16 seconds, 2 timeouts. Lawrence looking to throw yet again up top and missing his mark. Not sure who that was intended for, but not looking like one of the throws from Lawrence this game. They've got at least 2 plays left. 13 seconds. Lawrence looking to throw. Pretty clean pocket. He rolls. Picked off. That is game. Picked off by Pinnock as well. Playing sub-linebacker for us. He seals the win. And if the Steelers lost as well, we are back atop the division. And if that's the case, yet again, it's the defense putting in the most amount of work. Offense has not scored that much, but it's been the defense keeping other offenses pretty much scoring at the same rate we are. Need them to step up, help out our defense. And in a way that I'm excited for, but also not, thank you, Cleveland Browns. They do beat the Steelers. It's a close game, 28-27, meaning we have retaken the division. But with us now hitting our bye week, this is where we're going to end today's episode. We have turned things around. We are now the top team in our division, doing pretty well. We started 1-3. Today we did the opposite. We went 3-1. Some of these were 1-score games. In fact, most of them were 1-score games. So still, we're playing things extremely tight. But we've improved our defense even more. Just need to give that offense that little bit of a push. And maybe next time we'll finish off the regular season. If we start to take it fully in our hands, or if we fall off completely, by no means is this division anywhere close to being decided. But what I am happy to see is the offense has improved. We're now the 26th team, though the defense has dropped a little bit as well. So we rose 4 with the offense, we dropped 4 with the defense. But the big thing I want to see with our offense is it really just our passing game that's really tanking us in that rankings? Because we are the worst passing team, but we're not really trying to be a passing team. In terms of rushing, we are in the top 10. We're not one of the best teams, but we're doing pretty solid. Points per game, we know it's nothing spectacular, but it's not the worst. It is in the bottom half though. But as for rushing touchdowns, where we should be getting a majority of our points, we are doing okay. We're about league average, a little bit above. but we could definitely look to see some improvements. We had 136 first downs, which puts us again in that similar range, slightly above average. But if we could get the passing game sorted out, this team I think will take off. Kenny Pickett did improve this episode versus last. It was a positive touchdown to turnover differential. I want to say when we started, he had 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So there was some slight improvement there. As for the receiving, no longer is Okonkwo our leading receiver, though it is very close. Him and Godwin neck and neck. No touchdowns for Godwin. So if we could have our receivers step up a little bit, make some bigger plays, maybe that will help us out. Offensive line, if we keep Pickett clean, give him time, we should be good. Now, Rasheed Walker has given up the most amount of sacks, though he didn't give up any this episode. He also missed some time with injury, and he will miss the next couple games as well with the injury from that previous game. So some good, some bad. I think the shuffled offensive line has worked out pretty well, and hopefully will continue to work out well with Donovan Smith having to fill in. But overall, I think the team took a really good step forward today, and hopefully they will continue to do so next time. To make sure you don't miss it, hit that bear icon on the bottom right or scroll down and hit the sub button. Definitely make sure you guys are tapping the bell icon though, so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series every single Tuesday and Thursday. Plus we have the Panthers traditional franchise that is closing in on what should hopefully be back-to-back playoffs for us, as that division has also been a tight race. That series every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We'll be back there tomorrow, and then back here to hopefully start to separate in the AFC North and claim our spot on top.